local late breaking. This is WNBF News at 7.
Good evening, I'm LisaGresci. Our top story tonight, Coastal Carolina is changing athletic conferences. CCU will become the Sun Belt's newest member. Team coverage first at 7. DeCenzo emphasized the move that will not involve extra costs for students. Instead, he pointed to new financial benefits from competing in the highest level of college football and revenue sharing between conference members. To give you an idea of what Sun Belt officials saw during their campus visits, listen to this. CCU opened the $35 million HTC Center in 2012 as the home of the Chanticleer men's and women's basketball and volleyball teams. Brooks Stadium debuted in 2003, and as Stephanie Robusto mentioned, will be expanded to more than double its current capacity. The $8.5 million Atkins Fieldhouse opened in 2010 at the north end of the stadium, and earlier this year, construction was completed on a $15.2 million renovation of both the baseball and softball facilities. Now, there's obviously another side to this. Big South Commissioner Kyle Callender issued a statement after the announcement saying, while the Big South Conference is disappointed in Coastal Carolina's departure, we recognize that membership movement is a normal part of the current environment in Division I athletics. If you have the WNBF News app, you got an alert earlier this afternoon to watch the press conference announcement live from your phone or computer. If you don't have the app and you want to be the first to know when the news breaks, download it now. It's free in the iTunes and the Android market. New at 7, thousands of race fans are heading to Darlington this week as the Southern 500 is back where it belongs, Labor Day weekend. WNBF News reporter Connor McHugh found out some fans are so excited they came to the track days in advance. Thank you, Connor. The man accused of killing Heather Elvis is now allowed to live and work in Florida. Attorney Kirk Truslow tells WNBF News the order allowing Sydney Moore to move to Florida for work was signed and filed today. Moore will still be monitored by home detention. He will be required to provide home detention with his Florida address and his employer's name and address, and he'll have to check in with home detention monthly. According to WNBF News partner MyOri News, Moore will be in an Horry County courtroom in October because of a different lawsuit unrelated to the Heather Elvis case. A debt collection company says he owes more than $6,600 from an unpaid credit account with Toys R Us. Moore claims he wasn't able to pay that bill because he was in jail on what he called false charges. These two are facing charges in connection with the death of their infant child last month. The state law enforcement division says Taurus Burgess and Tanisha Sanders are charged with the unlawful neglect. Their child was just 1 month old. The pair was booked at the Darlington County Detention Center and could face up to 10 years in prison. This man is charged with murder. Daryl Days was arrested in connection with the shooting over the weekend in the parking lot of the La Quinta Inn. The Horry County Coroner's Office identified the victim as 30-year-old Latron Lewis of Myrtle Beach. He died at the Grand Strand Medical Center early Sunday morning.
Now we get a nice break from the rain this afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, just a few clouds as the sun begins to set. In fact, rain not going to be an issue at all really through the next 24 hours or so. And then we'll start to see some changes. You notice the satellite and radar, though, there's some of the clouds sneaking in. The thing you're not seeing on here is green. In fact, there's not really any rain across the Carolinas at all. So again, headed out this evening, just going to deal with some warmer temperatures. Still holding in the upper 80s along Interstate 95, middle 80s right along the Grand Strand. We'll see these 80s getting down maybe to the lower 80s by about 8:30 or so, and then eventually dropping through the 70s. You notice just a couple of clouds. No rain as you're headed out tonight. Even tomorrow morning, the only issue, some patchy fog with temperatures falling into the 70s. Some more rain chances arrive a little bit later on this week. We'll have a look at those. That's coming up here in just a few more minutes.
Thank you, Robert. But first, it's September 1st, and that means we're getting very close to the peak of hurricane season. We compared this year up to the average to this point and show you what this month typically brings into the Atlantic. Still to come at 7, remembering Adam Ward, how a community paid tribute to the photojournalist. Then a deadly accident, the latest on investigation into the crash that killed a child outside of a South Carolina school. Plus, curbing gun violence, one group's request to the governor. Polls are closed now in the Low Country as Democrats voted to fill the vacancy in South Carolina's Senate created by the shooting death of Senator Clementa Pinckney at a church in Charleston earlier this year. 11 Democratic candidates were on the ballot. If no one gets the majority, a runoff will be held in 2 weeks. The winner faces Republican Alberto Fernandez in October. Almost 1 week after 2 WDBJ journalists were gunned down on live television. Hundreds of people gathered for the funeral of photojournalist Adam Ward. Raycom News Network reporter Ashley Monford is in Roanoke with more on what and how he was remembered. A community mourns the death of a 7-year-old girl. Nellie Herrera was enrolling at a new school, Pageland Elementary in Chesterfield County. She just moved there from Memphis. Nellie's parents needed to fill out some more paperwork and sent her in to get it. That's when she was hit by a car and killed. Raycom News Network reporter Michael Clark reports from near that elementary school. New tonight, one group is sounding the alarm about gun violence in the Black community. This afternoon, members of the National Action Network met with Governor Nikki Haley to discuss the rate of African Americans killed in South Carolina. The group is calling the rate of people killed by guns a state of emergency and says many of the guns used to commit crimes are illegally trafficked into the community.
We are asking the governor today to put together a task force. That task force should be able to track where these guns are coming from that's coming in mainly in the Black community. We will hopefully work with her to find out exactly in every county and every inner city how many guns are being trafficking in our community.
The National Action Network is a civil rights organization founded by Reverend Al Sharpton. Today, representatives said they hope to take their message across the country. Getting to live out his dream next at 7, the baseball player with local ties that landed on the New York Yankees roster. Then fast food news you've been waiting a long time to hear. We're back in 3 minutes. It's a historic day for Coastal Carolina sports in more ways than one. Happening right now, the Yankees are in Boston taking on the Red Sox, and former Chanticleer Rico Noel is on the New York roster. Noel becomes the 10th CCU player to reach Major League Baseball. He's the 5th to make it to the big leagues over the last 5 years. Finally tonight, if you're one of those people who hates missing the end of breakfast hours at McDonald's, hang on just a little bit longer. The chain says its breakfast menu will be available all day starting October 6th. The exact menu will vary in different markets. The company has been looking for a way to boost its slumping sales.
Again, a pretty nice showers and storms that afternoon. Hopefully, one of those doesn't pop up around the racetrack. And if they do, I think they'll gradually wind down as the race progresses.
But tonight's clear, tomorrow morning's clear.
Yeah, things are looking good.
Sounds good. We'll see you back here tonight at 11 for all of your live, local, late-breaking headlines. Have a good night.
The